We all want to be swimming in the same stream, same direction, and actually give guidance and process to new employees to where people weren't feeling like we were just pushing you into a deep end of a pool. Here's our recommended practice. We have actual processes in place. And prior to any Zoho, we had none of those things.
I'm Sean Hessinger, and this is Small Biz in 15, the show where we bring you small business news and tips to make your small business better. Recently, Small Biz in 15 went on location at Zoholics 2023 in Austin, Texas, and spoke to Lynn Martin, head of finance and systems IT process at Blue Beyond Consulting, about choosing the right software to standardize your business operations.
Lynn, what does your business do? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, as a management consulting firm, we work on anything from change management, DEI, communications. We really work to focus with our clients on whatever change or implementation they need to do, but in a different approach, that we don't come to our companies with a solution. We come with listening ears and really try to bridge the gap between what the company's wanting or needing to do and letting the people's voices be heard, seen, and valued to where they feel like they're part of the solution instead of things being done to them, with them.
And what in your business in particular would you say started you looking for tools, technology tools to kind of help your process? What kinds of problems or pain points caused you to start looking for various solutions?
Originally, we started out with one owner and 2 to 3 consultants, and each person had their own style, their own method of their forms or their Excel worksheets. And as we wanted to grow and scale the company, we knew we needed to get some process, us working in more in unison instead of in a silo.
So it wasn't just automation. It was also an idea of kind of unifying your process, streamlining your process.
Yes, we all want to be swimming in the same stream, same direction, and actually give guidance and process to new employees to where people weren't feeling like we were just pushing you into a deep end of a pool. Here's our recommended practice. We have actual processes in place, and prior to any Zoho, we had none of those things.
Well, was my next question, which was, what made you choose Zoho for some of your solutions?
Honestly, the price point. The competitors were very outside of our reach for pricing. Just something as a small company, we're pretty bare bones, and we're a company that tries to essentially send our profits back to our employees instead of just investing in shiny tools. And Zoho seemed to fit the bill, and they were also so helpful. No add-on pricing for every bit of help that we needed. We were able to get a chat, get an email, get a phone call with somebody without, that'll be $199. Would you like to enter your credit card now for $99.95, and we can help you with this solution? So it's just been a really good fit for what we needed.
And let me ask you, what tools specifically, Zoho tools specifically, do you use? And maybe you could tell us a little bit about, how you use them exactly in your business.
I think at this moment we're at 29 or 30 actual Zoho tools. We're part of the Zoho One platform. I'd say our everyday employee on a regular basis uses at least 10 of the applications. So I guess I'd start with those. We started with the CRM, and from the CRM, we added on Zoho Projects, Zoho People, Zoho Recruit. We use Zoho Books, just the invoicing feature. We use Click. We use Connect as our social inter-office platform. Every one of those applications, one talks to the next without, once again, any add-on, any other thing that needs to be reconfigured, or the pricing structure has changed. So it's very different than other it's very different than any other places that I've worked for, that everything else was a different add-on or buy.
Just to use as an example, CRM was the first thing you mentioned. How do you use CRM specifically in your business?
The CRM we use both for the collecting of the inbound lead sources. So we're using behind the scenes, our marketing team is using social marketing automation, campaigns. Like we have every bell and whistle that Zoho has offered, we pretty much have turned on. The more leads that you have, the better. So we're going from leads to the deals module we call projects. Our potential projects then flow into Zoho Projects, where we book our time. We use Zoho Expense to record our expenses. That talks to Zoho Invoice. We use it for our white paper to create our actual invoices that we send to our clients. We use QuickBooks as an accounting program. Zoho totally worked with that. It integrated seamlessly. That's just like I said, the starting point for like a day in a life process.
I think you already started talking a little bit about this, but just to get a little more into it, how do you think your business process has changed, or has it changed since you started using Zoho?
Oh, wow. It has changed significantly since we started with Zoho. In the old days, I was the one person that had the keys to the kingdom, so to speak, shared with the CEO of the company in, closed door finance meetings of what was shared. Just any of our stats were long collected through Excel formats. Just really, it was a silo. With the add of the Zoho, we've been able to really offer transparency from the entry level intern straight on up to key management. We have built with Zoho Analytics so many dashboards that people have access to information just at their fingertips. With all of those programs, virtually all of them are talking back to Zoho Analytics. So we've built dashboards for every different team, from finances, metrics on leads, projects that are through completion, just every bit of stat, where you spend your time. The possibilities are endless of what we could still build, but it has really allowed in our company a new ownership shift of like, oh, we're not doing so well. How do we fix that? We're able to see forecasting ahead has never been easier now that we have so much data and everything's talking to each other. Like, we are in this market with a recession on the horizon. We're able to really dig in deep with our finances. What are our potential projects? What's the likelihood of those to be closing? What can we count on? Where do we need to shift? And without all of these projects, if I think about merging 40 different Excel worksheets from all my different work streams together, that's just painful to even think about it.
Yeah, it's interesting how many businesses are alike in that respect, because I just think about it in our business too, how kind of streamlining has everybody talking to each other and everybody knowing what's going on. I wanted to ask this kind of a big question, but I wanted to back up a little bit because it struck me some of what you were saying about sort of why you implemented it and then the benefits you saw. Can you think a little bit about what you expected, what your goals were for for doing that tool, which is the streamlining part of it, and maybe the benefits you got, and maybe there were actually more benefits than you anticipated there were going to be. Could you talk a little bit about that?
I think that when we got into Zoho, we originally bought it with singularity in mind. We bought it for the CRM. We bought it to have a database, and one centralized database, instead of somebody using Apple Mail, somebody using Outlook. We had everything was all over the place. So we bought it with that in mind. And at that time, we were actually building our first website, and we weren't even really sure how we were going to market. Did we need to market? We got all of our business organically. Somebody referred us to the next person. How we bought into it and where we're at now is not at all the same place, but there's a lot of, if I would have known then,
Right.
I probably would have done a lot of things different. It's the reason why coming to a Zoho conference and just staying up to date on what the new tools and the bells and whistles is to hover back up and be like, ooh, if we did that, I would be able to see from this place. I would be able to do something more. But when we bought into it, it was literally going to be a repository of our contacts in one Rolodex, for lack of a better word.
Well, and something you said there about things coming organically. Indeed, that's why a lot of people start businesses. They see that there's an opportunity, but I would imagine that formalizing the process has let you see a little bit more how, if you want to increase business, you can, how you can, what you can focus on, because you can kind of see it all there as opposed to it just dribbling in.
Yes, we're definitely in control, can see the strains, can see where we're doing well and what we might need to shift.
Is there anything else that you can think of that we missed that you think we should talk about? Anything about the way you've used Zoho software to kind of change things, or any maybe even surprising things that you've seen in your business that you didn't expect that using software or unifying your process has given you, or anything?
Necessarily. The only thing that I'd say that definitely that transparency, giving people access to data, is empowering and really makes people feel that they're part of the solution instead of just showing up to a job, which I think is really important for job happiness, for retaining your employees, that they feel like they're part of something instead of just performing a duty.
And seeing problems that maybe you didn't see because maybe somebody else looks at it and says, hey, did you notice this?
Yeah, we're definitely a company that believes in the group genius approach, because all 5 of us could look at something and 5 of us are going to point out one typo, one flaw, 4 great things, and something that another person will be like, oh, but if you look at it this way, it means X. And you're like, oh, then if I built this report, I could do something else with it. So it's like just looking through that lens. Like I said, instead of a silo, we've just really created, with the transparency, just a way that other people can chip in and provide context or see it through their lens.
Let's talk about the specifics of the consulting, a little bit of the consulting you do. You said you find solutions for, but what are most of your clients like, and what do they do? Is there a typical client that you deal with, a kind of a business?
No, we're everything from a small nonprofit to huge technology firms. It's we have a wide berth. Essentially, our focus really is just finding a solution just where the business and the people are both going to thrive, to where everybody feels they're part of the solution. Like I said, it's what we employ in our own business. Is we want people. Your business is going to fail if you don't have people that are happy to be there, if they don't want to be there, if they feel like management is always changing things and never listening. So we're that bridge between, like I said, what needs to be done and how can we get the voices of others, or what do they really feel like you should be focusing on? Because sometimes the small person has the best idea or the best solution that's going to satisfy a lot of people. And we really try to focus on what the business is going to need as a whole.
Well, that's it for another episode of Small Biz in 15. Thanks again to Lynn Martin and Zoho for making this program possible. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the show, and please leave a comment and let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future programs. For more small business news and tips, join us at smallbiztrends.com.